The Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was established in 27 BCE after the demise of the Roman Republic. The empire was a vast and powerful civilization that dominated much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East for centuries. The Roman emperors expanded the empire's territories through conquest, strategic alliances, and colonization. Under the rule of its first emperor and founder, Augustus Caesar, Rome flourished into the most powerful empire of its day. Augustus established a long period of peace and stability throughout the empire, known as the Pax Romana, which lasted for over 2 centuries. This peace allowed for economic prosperity, cultural flourishing, and consolidation of the empire. Emperor Trajan, who ruled from 98 to 117 CE, expanded the Roman Empire to its peak territorial extent. During this time, Rome covered an estimate 2 million square miles, conquering more than 30 countries including modern-day France, Italy, Austria, Hispania, Britain, the Balkans, way up to Algeria, Tunisia, Jordan, and Syria. Despite its achievements, the empire faced internal strife, civil wars, economic troubles, and invasions, leading to the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, while the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued until 1453 CE. The British Empire. The British Empire was the largest empire in history, spanning territories in every continent. In its zenith in early 19th century, it covered a quarter of the world's population and area. Through maritime exploration and colonization, Britishers conquered key territories such as India, known as the Jewel in the Crown, Africa, North America, the Caribbean, Australia, and New Zealand. The British Empire began its formation during the Age of Exploration in the late 15th century with initial overseas ventures by English merchants and explorers during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. The reign of Queen Victoria marked the height of British imperial power, with significant territorial acquisitions in Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. At the peak of its power in 1920, it covered an astonishing 13.71 million square miles. However, the erosion of the empire began during the 20th century due to the world wars, economic pressures, and independence movements across colonies. These events transitioned the empire into the Commonwealth of Nations, leading to the independence of many colonies. The Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan in 13th century, rapidly expanded to become the largest contiguous land empire in history, stretching from Eastern Europe to East Asia. Their swift cavalry and psychological warfare helped them conquer a total area of 9.27 million square miles and became the second largest empire in history in a span of 25 years. Under the leadership of the Great Khan, the Mongols established a legal code known as the Yasa, which covered everything from military discipline to the protection of property and the conduct of leaders. Despite their brutal and ruthless tactics in the battlefield, the Mongols were known to be tolerant towards different cultures and religions. Mongol women used to have great influence in society, owning properties, participating in courts, and even leading armies. After the death of the Great Khan, the empire was divided among his sons and grandsons into several khanates, such as the Yuan dynasty in China, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Golden Horde in Russia. This division weakened centralized control and fostered rivalries among the khanates. By mid-14th century, the once mighty Mongol Empire had marked the end of its dominance. The Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, founded in 1299 by Osman I, was a powerful and long-lasting empire. The empire spanned much of Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa at its peak in the 16th and 17th centuries. Under the influence of Suleiman, the Magnificent, the empire became a dominant political, military, and economic force, conquering 2 million square miles. During his reign, the empire marked as the height of Ottoman power and cultural achievements. The capture of Constantinople in 1453 by Sultan Mehmed II marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the beginning of the empire's dominance in the region. The city's fall was a pivotal moment in world history. At the zenith of its power, the Ottomans achieved many architectural marvels, including iconic structures like the Blue Mosque, Topkapi Palace, and numerous other mosques, and public buildings that blend Islamic and Byzantine architectural styles. This empire lasted for over 600 years, from 1299 to 1922, making it one of the longest-lasting empires in history until their fall in 1922 after the First World War. The Achaemenid Empire. The First Persian Empire, also known as the Achaemenid Empire, was founded by Cyrus the Great in 5th century BCE. At the pinnacle of its power, the empire became one of the largest and most influential empires in ancient history. It spread over to 3 continents, including parts of modern-day Egypt, Macedonia, Turkey, Iran, and parts of India and Pakistan. The empire is renowned for the construction of the Royal Road, a 2,500 kilometers long road for trade purposes. The Cyrus Cylinder, an early human rights charter to promote freedom and respect for different religious group and administrative innovations. This Persian Empire was once the strongest and most influential empire on the surface of the earth, ruling over 2 million square miles of land, until the empire fell to Alexander the Great in 330 BCE, marking the end of its dominance. The Russian Empire. The Russian Empire, spanning from the early 18th century until the Russian Revolution in 1917, was one of the largest empires in history, encompassing vast territories across Eastern Europe, Siberia, and Northern Asia. It was established under Peter the Great, who modernized Russia and expanded its influence into Europe and Asia. Under Catherine the Great, the empire's expansion continued, acquiring territories in the Black Sea region, and expanded Russia's influence in Eastern Europe. At its peak, they controlled a vast area of around 8.8 million square miles, starting from Central Asia to North America. This empire is also credited for the construction of the oldest and largest art museum in the world, known as the Hermitage Museum and the Trans-Siberian Railway, which connected Moscow with the Russian Far East. This project is the longest railway line ever created in the world, spanning a length of over 5,572 miles. At last, the Russian Empire ended in the wake of the Russian Revolution of 1917, a series of political and social upheavals that culminated in the overthrow of the imperial government and the establishment of the Soviet Union. The Spanish Empire, one of the largest empires in history, emerged in the late 15th century with the unification of Spain under the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand II, of Aragon, and Isabella I, of Castile. In 1492, the empire sponsored Christopher Columbus's voyage, which marked the beginning of extensive Spanish exploration and colonization in the New World. At their height, the empire's vast territories included much of Latin America, the Philippines, parts of the Caribbean, and significant portions of Europe covering 5.3 million square miles. Spain's wealth, largely fueled by silver and gold from its American colonies, made it the dominant European power under the leadership of Philip II during the 16th century. The loss of its American colonies in the early 19th century and the defeat in the Spanish-American War in 1898 led to the loss of its last significant powerhouses. This event marked the definitive end of Spain's global empire, the Qing dynasty. The Qing dynasty, which ruled China from 1644 to 1912 CE, was the last dynasty of China. It was founded by the Manchus, a semi-nomadic people from northeastern China, who overthrew the preceding Ming dynasty. The empire expanded its territory significantly, encompassing Mongolia, Xinjiang, Tibet, and parts of Central Asia through military campaigns and treaties. The dynasty once controlled 5.86 million square miles, becoming one of the largest empires in the history. With a population of over 426 million, it became the most populous country at its time. The Qing dynasty officially ended with the abdication of the last emperor, Puyi, in 1912, marking the end of imperial rule in China and the beginning of the Republic of China. The Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire, established in 1526 by Babur after the Battle of Panipat, was a powerful dynasty that ruled much of the Indian subcontinent until the mid-19th century. Babur, who was a descendant of Timur and Genghis Khan, invaded India and defeated the Delhi Sultanate, laying the foundation for Mughal rule. The empire reached its zenith under Akbar the Great, who expanded Mughal territories across northern and central India through military conquests and diplomatic alliances. At its peak, the Mughal Empire controlled nearly all of the Indian subcontinent, including present-day India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and parts of Afghanistan. The Mughals made significant cultural, artistic, and architectural contributions, blending Persian, Indian, and Central Asian influences, exemplified by landmarks such as the Taj Mahal and Red Fort. In 1857, the British East India Company marked the end of Mughal sovereignty, leading to the British Raj and the eventual dissolution of the empire. The French Colonial Empire. The French Colonial Empire, established primarily from the 16th to the 20th centuries, the empire began with exploratory voyages and trading posts in North America, Africa, the Caribbean, and Asia. It was founded through ventures by explorers like Jacques Cartier and Samuel de Champlain. France gradually expanded its territories through military conquest, treaties, and colonization efforts. The empire at its height encompassed territories in North America, the Caribbean, Africa, Southeast Asia, and the South Pacific. This French Empire dominated a total area of 5.2 million square miles, holding 80 colonies at one point. The French colonial empire ended primarily through decolonization movements and international pressure following the Second World War. The independence of Algeria in 1962 formally marked the end of major French colonial rule. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this.